if you're a Knicks fan, all these players that could become available, is Karl-Anthony Towns the guy you really want if you can get Joel Embiid? You can get the Greek Freak if he decides to opt out of his contract with Milwaukee at the end of the season, which he could. Trading for a guy like Devin Booker, a wing guy who the Knicks have been craving to look for, a guy that could shoot the three, which the Knicks are one of the worst teams in the NBA at shooting the three. Is Karl-Anthony Towns the answer for the New York Knicks to be a championship competitive team, to compete with Milwaukee or the Celtics or even Miami? I don't know. I like Karl-Anthony Towns. I think he's a good player. Here's the problem. He's not a winner. Every single time the Timberwolves make the playoffs, they absolutely bomb. They were as good as far as talent is concerned than any team in basketball. You bring in Rudy Gobert, and you thought, hey, that was the missing piece because they didn't have the defense in the middle. Karl-Anthony Towns is a good defensive player, but he's nowhere close to Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert didn't get along with anybody on his team. They overpaid for Rudy Gobert when it comes to draft stock and money. Now you have two big men that obviously don't work good together. You have Anthony Edwards, that's a great player, but in big parts of the season, he did not look good. When the pressure is on, these guys are not good players. If you're a Knicks fan, why would you want Karl-Anthony Towns? Joel Embiid is a good playoff player. Joel Embiid has taken the Philadelphia 76ers deep into the playoffs. Has Karl-Anthony Towns do that with Minnesota? No. I don't know if they need a big man. They have Mitchell Robinson, who was one of the best offensive rebounders in the league last year. When he was healthy in the playoffs, he looked really, really good against Cleveland. When he got hurt at the end of the Cleveland series, he wasn't the same player against Miami. Now, I'm not saying Mitchell Robinson is a star, but he is a quality big man. He is going to give you those minutes, and he's going to do the things that you need a big man to do and be your anchor defensively. Karl-Anthony Towns is not an anchor defensively. He's an offensive player. He's an offensive big man who could play a little bit of defense. Let's be honest about Rudy Gobert. He didn't get along with Donovan Mitchell in Utah. Yep. He doesn't get along with anybody. We heard stories that he wasn't getting along with Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, or other players on that team. I would take Embiid over Karl-Anthony Towns. I would take the Greek Freak over Joel Embiid. You have to look at what you're willing to pay for those players. You have to give up something for Karl-Anthony Towns. You're not going to give up pennies for him. You're going to have to probably trade Grimes and Randall and other pieces, maybe even R.J. Barrett in that trade to get a Karl-Anthony Towns. Is it worth trading away big pieces to your team and the growth of your team when you're one player away from bringing in maybe in a sign and trade in the offseason? Would you rather a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns, he can shoot the three, his career average is 39.5, or would you want Devin Booker, a wing guy that could become available at the trade deadline if it falls apart in Phoenix? His three-point percentage is over 45%. The Timberwolves are looking to move Karl-Anthony Towns. If the price is right, they'll move him. And are the Knicks willing to trade away big pieces to bring in a Karl-Anthony Towns that could ruin the chemistry of this team? If the Knicks don't make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals or even the NBA championship, he will be gone. They are going to move on from Tom Thibodeau. I know everybody thinks, well, if they bring the cat in, they're going to keep Tom Thibodeau. If they bring Cat in, Tom Thibodeau is gone because it's not going to work because Karl-Anthony Towns is a baby. He cries about everything. I like Karl-Anthony Towns as a person, as a player to fit in New York. I know he grew up a Knicks fan. I know he's from New Jersey. I understand he wants to come home. I'd rather Donovan Mitchell. If you can make a move for Donovan Mitchell, I'd rather bring him in because at least you know what you get with Donovan Mitchell. You don't know what you're going to get with Cat. Leon, he's a big fan of the Cat. Leon Rose actually was his agent. If the Cat becomes available, you know that he will absolutely make a run for him, but is it worth it? Are you going to sit here and be happy if you trade away R.J. Barrett, Grimes, and Mitchell Robinson and 2 or 3 first-round draft picks for Karl-Anthony Towns? Are you a better team with Cat, with Jalen Brunson, and the other weapons that you have, and give away that type of talent? I think the Knicks need to hold back on this because there are quite a few other good players that could be available. If the Greek Freak does not win a championship with Damian Lillard next year, he is gone. Damian Lillard's going to go to the Heat. He has 1 year left on his contract. He's not staying with Milwaukee. Now that Drew Holiday, one of his best friends, is playing for the Celtics, why would he stay there? He will opt out of his contract and he will go to free agency and he'll go wherever he wants because he already said he wants to play in a big city. And then Joel Embiid, if the Harden thing stems up with this team, he knows he's not going to win. Nurse is a good coach, but he's not going to win with the team that he has. So what is he going to do? He's going to force his way out. The Knicks could be looking at a guy like Joel Embiid, who I'd rather than the Cat. So I think the Knicks need to sit back, wait, see what happens. Devin Booker could become available if Phoenix bombs this. They don't have a point guard. Name a team in the last 10 years that's won without a good point guard. None of them. And they don't have a point guard.